Thank you. Appreciate it. I should have looked at the stream a little bit before. No audio. A lot of technical difficulties, but it took me a little while to get the dual stream going. Got a dual stream going on. But we're here, guys. We are here. I did a whole intro, so let me redo the intro because you couldn't hear a single thing from it. Let's start over. So in yesterday's wrap-up video, I said that I was going to preview this Zverev-Fritz match prior to the match starting, and it didn't quite turn out that way. But here it is. Here's the preview. So you know that Zverev has lost a lot of matches against Taylor Fritz consecutively. So let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 in a row he's lost. And as recently as in the Halle semifinals, Fritz has beaten Zverev. So he beat him prior to that, the Laver Cup, straight sets. Taylor beat him in Stuttgart in the final. In 25 and 24 ATP finals, Taylor beat him. 24 Laver Cup, Taylor beat him. 24 US Open, Taylor beat him. And then, of course, 24 Wimbledon, Taylor beat him. So you could think of this as like a matchup problem. You know, maybe Zverev doesn't like playing Taylor Fritz. There's something potentially in the way. Wow, Arthur Fery wins the first set. Can you believe this? Wow. Unreal here. Unreal. Okay. So you could think that there's something about the Fritz game that Zverev doesn't like. It's a matchup thing, but I don't think it's any of that. Let me give you my reasonings for it. So prior to the crucial match in this head-to-head, which was 2024 Wimbledon, where Zverev was up 2-0 and lost. And he lost the 4-set 7-6. So Zverev had big chances to win that match. Prior to that, Zverev was 5-2 against Fritz. 5-2. And you can't be 5-2 against someone if there's a matchup issue. And Zverev actually beat him shortly prior to that match in Rome in the quarterfinals, 4-3, prior to that 2024 Wimbledon match. So he was 5-2 against Fritz. Then he loses to Fritz up 2-0. And now all of a sudden, he's losing 7 in a row to him. So to me, this is a mental thing. I don't see anything in Fritz's game. Of course, Fritz is a phenomenal player, don't get me wrong, but I don't see anything in Fritz's game that's necessarily a problem for Zverev to overcome, because Zverev beats similar style of players. So again, it's a mental issue. It got in his head after that match. You know, you lost another one after it, then another one, and all of a sudden there's a streak there, and you lose belief, and Fritz's confidence was way up. However, and it's a shame that I didn't do this prior to the match, because now that Zverev's up a break, it's going to sound like I'm doing this based on the first set, but I had a feeling prior to this match that this is the best opportunity for Zverev to flip this streak of Fritz around. And the reason for it is that Zverev just came off winning Roland Garros. He's feeling as good as he ever has about his game. The confidence must be sky high. And Taylor is playing well. He's a phenomenal grass court player, but he just came back from a long absence from the tour. He took time off between, what was it, Miami and Geneva. He didn't play at all. And then he played well on grass, but, you know, certainly he beat Zverev in that match. We'll get to that in a second. But he lost to Shelton in the final of Stuttgart, lost to Tiafoe in the final of Halle. Certainly has played well. You know, he's in the quarterfinals here. But this is a great opportunity for Zverev to turn this around. And I do think that he will turn this around. I believe that he will. Now, the recent match that Zverev lost to Fritz was, not the week after Roland Garros. It was, the second week after Roland Garros. And there was something going on with this, I don't know what it is actually, some kind of device that measures, I don't really know. I can't tell you what it is, but he actually put too much, he put too much insulin into his system or something. I don't know what it was, but he wasn't feeling well. He walked off the court in the first set. I live streamed that match. And he was nowhere near his normal level. And he actually started blasting balls. He was trying to keep the points short. So despite that, he almost got Fritz in that match too. It was a very tight 3-set match despite Zverev not feeling well. So I'm not taking too much out of that one. And again, I got a feeling that Zverev is going to come through here. And he's going to flip this 7-match losing streak. So that was supposed to be my intro. And it would have been way better if I did it prior to Zverev being up 4-3. What is it, 30-15? We're also going to keep an eye out on Cobolli Fery, and we're doing a dual stream, so this is super tricky to do, and it's the reason why I'm late. And I actually started, I don't want to bore you with the details, but I started on time, and then I did a mistake. I made a mistake with the streams and I had to start over. So Cobolli up a break in the second set. Fery won the first set 6-4, playing some exceptional tennis. He's got a great chance here with the support of the home crowd to make it through. I think this is going to be an absolute battle. Cobolli is a phenomenal grass court player, but he was outplayed by Djokovic in the quarters last year, so there was a discrepancy there. I don't think that Cobolli's grass court game is anywhere near his clay court game. It's not even close. Now, people are rightfully so saying this guy is super good on clay and grass, and he certainly is, but he's way better on clay than he is on grass. Just remember that match last year against Djokovic in the quarterfinals. Djokovic outplayed him. And not to say that Cobolli is weak on grass, no, but I don't see him as somebody with the potential to win this tournament. And if he comes through Fery, he's going to lose to Fritz or to Zverev in the semifinal. That's my pick. Zverev holds 5-3. You guys recovered from that match yesterday? That was insane, wasn't it? That was some match. That's a good comment. It's not fair for both matches to be playing at the same time. Compared to yesterday's quarterfinals, it allowed the fans to watch both matches one after another, poorly planning by Wimbledon. It's an absolute disgrace to do the scheduling. It's beyond horrendous. And I hate doing these dual streams because I want to focus in on one match. I can't, it's very difficult to watch two matches. And it's very difficult to watch two matches, keep track of the chat. It reduces the quality of the stream. And I could have picked one or the other, but I thought that maybe one was going to start before the other one, and then we can kind of tune into the other one. So I decided to do both, but this is not right. These are incredible matches, both of them, and they deserve their own place, and they should not be overlapping. And we've had this before. We had Sinner Djokovic overlap, I think in the 4th round. And Cobolli holds up a break in the second set on Fery. It's a nice hold there from Fritz. Still down a break though. Zverev will be serving for the set. Arthur Fery with a phenomenal tournament. The fact that he came through that Berks match, it's beyond belief. To have the belief, you know, you're down 2 breaks in the 4 sets, down 2 sets to 1. Certainly on grass, I mean, like, you must think it's over, right? But no, he came back, he clawed back in that 4th set. Then it was a break, down 4-1, 2 breaks in the 4th, comes back, down 4-2, a break in the 5th, comes back. And then he's down 2 sets to 1 and a break to Dimitrov, comes back, wins in the 5th set tiebreak. What a phenomenal tournament. And here he is up a set on Cobolli, but down a break in the 2nd set, 2-1. Croatia was robbed. 100%. I lost, not that I lost interest in the World Cup after that, but I haven't watched it with the same enthusiasm as before. I was so into it prior to that match. And it's not about Croatia losing. It's just that, I don't know, that match, it seems so rigged. It just seemed wrong. And then Argentina yesterday too, or was it 2 days ago? I don't remember. I lost the enthusiasm for this tournament. It's a shame because I was so into it before. I watched close to every single game, even unimportant games I watched. And that Croatia thing left a bad taste in my mouth. And again, it's not that the Croatia lost. It's okay to lose to Portugal. It's fine. It's cool to see Ronaldo score, you know what I mean? Like, but that was just ridiculous. Because Croatia, I don't know anything about football, but to me, it seemed like Croatia was a better team. And they somehow tried everything in their power to take it away from them. It was ridiculous. Unbelievable. And it's so awful on the fans to go through these emotional ups and downs. You're sitting there celebrating a goal only for it to be taken away like seconds later. It's the worst feeling ever. It's a little bit shaky here, 15-30. Trying to serve out this first set. Big serve by Zverev, half-court ball from Fritz. Zverev doesn't do enough with that short forehand. Backhand to backhand rally. You know, generally, you know, Zverev would have an advantage there, but Fritz is so rock solid from the baseline. He does not get enough credit for his baseline skills. The guy can hang in there with the best of them. Djokovic, Alcaraz, Sinner. That's how good Fritz is from the baseline. I'm not saying that he's better than them, but he can hang in there with them. He's incredibly consistent, plays high percentage power tennis. $15-40, 2 breakpoint chances for Fritz. Ace Zverev, first break point chance saved. It's a big serve by Zverev, and Fritz misses the chip. That is one of his biggest attributes on grass, is his chip return. Fritz is able to neutralize the serve with that chip, keep it low, and get into a rally. He said that he does that more on grass than on other surfaces for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, he gets a little bit more pace to work with on grass because the chip is a deflective shot. You need to work with the pace of the incoming ball. Set point Zverev. And also the grass keeps that chip lower. So it is an excellent tactic on grass to chip the return. And he does it very frequently on the return, sometimes exclusively. Zverev goes for that T serve, misses it long. Fery breaks back. Wow. On serve. It's a monster second serve from Zverev. 122 second serve on set point. That's confidence right there, guys. That's a confident player right there. And Zverev takes the first set. Not going to say I'm surprised. I think Zverev's going to roll today. He's going to reverse this. Again, no better scenario to beat Fritz than right now. One Roland Garros. Fritz playing well on grass, but, had some time off of the tour, and we shall see. But this match between Cobolli and Fery is so interesting because the crowd is a huge factor here. It's a huge factor. And I think it might help Fery to come through this one and make the semifinal spectacularly. That is a nice drop shot from Cobolli right there. One of his biggest strengths. How about the Kostyuk-Noskova semifinal? That's going to be good. Both players on fire this season. And now drop shot from Fery. A couple of nice drop shots here back-to-back from both players. 30-15. Fery won the first set 6-4, 2-all in the second. He broke back in the second set. What keeps Fritz from competing more consistently with Sinner and Alcaraz and Novak? Is it his return or his relatively weak net game? Certainly the all-around game is nowhere near those guys. It's Taylor has gotten a little bit better at the net, but certainly it's not his strength, the net game. He doesn't have that much versatility. He's just rock solid and happens to have one of the best serves in the world. So that in itself these are great strengths to have. But against Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic, you need something extra. You need something extra. And he doesn't have that extra, unfortunately. This, you can say the same thing about Zverev, by the way. Not to the same degree, because Zverev has been the more successful player between Fritz and Zverev, but you could say similar things about Zverev. It's just not, there's just not enough there to challenge those guys. But these are small percentages. So Fritz will go into a match with Alcaraz and take a set off of him. You know, I mean, he can also beat those guys. It's not like he can't beat him. He can beat him, but at the most important stage, let's say Grand Slam, semifinal, quarterfinal, final, that's where the chances are going to be low for Fritz. They're going to be low. $30-all, that's an opportunity right there for Zverev. It's going to be break point or game point. Wow, forehand, down the line winner from Zverev. He actually was hitting the forehand just like that in the Halle semifinal against Taylor. He was completely unloading on his forehand, hitting it flatter, you know, more with a flat trajectory, still with a high RPM. Let's take a look at this forehand right here. This is still a high RPM forehand, but it's a low trajectory one. And Zverev, nice serve there from Fritz to save break point. But Zverev has that forehand. It's just not his comfort zone all the time. You know, he certainly knows how to be aggressive with the forehand, but it's just he's the ultimate high percentage player, and he needs to feel the confidence and feel the right and be in the right circumstance to go for it, you know, or he won't. Nice forehand there from Fritz. Add in. So back to like Fritz against Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic. It's, first of all, he doesn't have the repertoire that's necessary to consistently take out those guys. It's just not going to be enough just with the serve and a rock-solid baseline game and a great forehand. The serve has to be up above and beyond good. You know, it's got to be to the point where he's able to take the racket out of the hand of a Sinner and Alcaraz. That could be true for Taylor. I think he has the potential to play like that, but I don't think that's necessarily his game style. But on top of all of that, there's a mental component too that we don't really talk about this enough. Mental strength. And also confidence, you know, when you haven't done it, when Taylor is, what is he, 0-11 or 0-12 against Djokovic. And I don't really count that the 6-king slam. He won the first set against Djokovic. I'm not counting that, but Fritz has never beaten Djokovic. So you go into a match with a lack of confidence, and that's certainly a big factor as well. And the same thing when he goes against Sinner, and so you put all that together, and the chances for Fritz against the top guys are low. But again, you know, I don't want to make this like just like a statement. Oh, he can't beat Sinner. No, he can't beat them. He can, you know, like Zverev played Sinner in indoors last year in Vienna and lost 7-5 in the third. In a best of three, somewhere, maybe it's not a Masters 1000, maybe in the early rounds, which wouldn't happen because Fritz is ranked high, it changes things. But at the most important tournaments where these guys turn up and they increase their level, that's where the chances for both Zverev and Fritz are going to be low against the top guys. Oh, Sasha has defeated Novak many times. In the big finals too. ATP 1000 finals he defeated him. I don't equate Sinner and Fritz same level, even though Fritz has won 7 in a row against Fritz. Zverev is a higher caliber player than Fritz. And I know it's weird to say that because, again, Fritz has beaten him 7 times in a row. It sounds like insane what I'm saying, but trust me, Zverev is a higher caliber player than Fritz. If you look at their accomplishments in their careers, it's clear that Zverev is the more accomplished player with the bigger wins too. So Fritz has not been able to take out Djokovic in a final of ATP 1000, or, yes, he took out Nadal, but, and this is not going to sound bad because I respect Fritz as a player tremendously, but that match against Nadal in the Indian Wells final, Nadal was completely injured. And when they talked about this in the Breakpoint Netflix series, they completely failed to mention the fact that Nadal showed up to that court, I don't know, like unable to play basically. And I don't think that Fritz would have beaten Nadal in the final of Indian Wells with a Nadal that was 100% fit. Not sure if I can make that same statement on Zverev, because he has proven that he can take those guys out. But things have changed a little bit too, because when you look at the head-to-head of Zverev against Sinner, Zverev against Alcaraz, it's first and foremost different. I think Zverev plays Alcaraz better generally, but you have to also differentiate between a Sinner prior to 2024 and after 2024. And Zverev has not been able to beat Sinner after 2024. Not even close, because that's where Sinner improved his level. And I think Alcaraz improved his level as well. And Zverev has played him closer. So it gets super complicated. But here are the facts. If we simplify this whole thing, we got Fritz here, we got Zverev here. Fritz is a phenomenal player, top 5 player. But I feel like there is a little bit of a gap between Zverev and everyone else on tour. Let's exclude Djokovic. So let's put Zverev, even though he's ahead of Djokovic in the rankings. Djokovic is there for himself. But there's Zverev. There's a little bit of a gap between the rest of the tour, and then there's a gap between Zverev and Sinner and Alcaraz. And Fritz is close to Zverev in that gap. The gap is way smaller between Zverev and the other guys behind him than the gap between Zverev and Sinner and Alcaraz. That's as simply as I can put it. Arthur Fery with the monster serve. He's not the tallest guy out there, but his serve is humongous. Got a lot of power on that serve. He's holding in the second set, up 4-3, set them 4-3 on Cobolli. That's a big serve from Taylor right there. 2-1. Again, if you guys are tuning in for either match, this is a dual stream. I don't like doing these, but I want to give respect to both of these matches and cover them. It's hard to choose one over the other. They're both great. Fery, Cobolli for the atmosphere, and then Zverev, Fritz, so much on the line. A crazy head-to-head. So because I'm doing both matches, my attention is not as good on each individual match, and it reduces the quality of the stream. So these are my apologies for it, but it is what it is. This is the Wimbledon scheduling that's incomprehensible. To schedule it like this makes no sense whatsoever. And like Fritz said, a couple of days ago. They're so hung up on that court, center court. But he said there's not that much difference between court number 1 and center court. In fact, sometimes you can't even tell the difference when you're watching on TV. So put both men's matches on court 1. Put both women's matches on center court, or vice versa, instead of spreading them like this. But I get that they want to put Fery on center court. I get it. It's complicated, but Fritz with the physio here. I'm going to take this opportunity to take a little break and do one more thing I got to set up. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're back. I'm going to try to get into the chat too, but it's a little bit hard to get into the chat when you got 2 screens going and when you got 2 chats going. It's a lot going on right now. 4-all, second set between Fery. You okay? And Cobolli. Fery serving. Cobolli misses a backhand to the net, 15-love. This is a tough match for Cobolli from a mental standpoint. There's a lot of pressure. This is a must-win match. You're playing a guy that's ranked outside of the top 100 for your chance to get into the semifinals of Wimbledon. This is a must-win match. And at the same time, you're fighting not only against Fery, but also against the crowd. So this is a very difficult match for Cobolli. The 15-all. He has to try to get into the service game right here and get the break back. Simone, what do you want? What do you want? Here. What do you want, buddy? Music is too loud on the break. We can turn it down, no problem. We'll turn it down. That's easy. Easy fix. Zverev serving exceptionally well. Simone, that doesn't help you making that noise over there. Please, come on. Stop it. You guys want to hear something irritating? Unrelated to tennis? So there's a building next to my building, right? And they're fumigating it. So they have that huge tent over it, which is creepy. It's so creepy when they have that. Simone, could you please stop it? I mean, is it possible to make less noise? Unbelievable. So it's being fumigated, right? There's a big tent over this building, humongous tent. And my bedroom is right next to this building. The living room where I'm at now, it's like on the other side, a little bit further away from this building. And since yesterday, 7 p.m., the fire alarm has been going off. And if you notice my wrap-up video yesterday, I did it here. I normally do it outside on the balcony. That's like my, I've just gotten used to doing it there. And I always do those type of videos there, but yesterday I couldn't because the fire alarm was so loud. And I can hear it right now. And when I'm in my bedroom, it's super loud. And it's been going off non-stop since 7 o'clock last night. Still going, it's 11:30 right now. The fire alarm has been going non-stop this whole time. It's absolutely infuriating. So this morning I went to the town hall here. Fery holds, by the way, up 5-4 second set. Went to the town hall. I was calling them. Nobody was answering. And they're supposedly fixing it, but they haven't yet. It's non-stop fire alarm. And you know how loud a fire alarm is? This is literal torture. Like I couldn't sleep. I barely slept last night. It was like 2 hours sleep. Unbelievable. But that's Florida for you. Especially when the buildings are older. It's an absolute nightmare. And I live by the beach. And a lot of the buildings by the beach are older. Don't ask. Don't ask. Zverev holds. 2-all second set. There's lob 15 on the Fritz serve, and there's something wrong with his leg. It might not be 100% fit. He makes a movement there as to test the leg. Serve hits a very deep return. Fritz tries to crouch down and redirect, but can't control the ball. See, the thing is, Seth, is that the building is being fumigated. So there's nobody in the building. That's why the alarm is not being turned off. It's like they sprayed like, I don't even want to know what they sprayed inside. That's a whole nother thing. There's a tent over it. There's probably poison in there to kill like an infestation of some sort. I mean, the whole thing is disgusting. It's creepy. It's probably breathing in chemicals right now from there, even though the tent is there, but I think the chemicals are seeping through the tent somehow, whatever. So nobody can go in there. That's the problem, to turn that thing off, because there's a poison in there. The entire building is covered in a tent. It looks like a circus tent. If you're not from the United States, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but anyone in the United States must know the fumigation tent. It's out of this world. But it is what it is. We're going to power through this. We got dual stream. We got 3 screens going on. We got 2 chats. We got 4 phones, and we got 3 cats. Nothing can go wrong. Zverev 15-30 on the Fritz serve, and Fritz responds nicely with an ace there. Fritz not a happy camper. He feels as if he could have gotten to that serve, but I think he was complaining about a bad bounce. When guys are staring down the court, and it's usually they blame the court. That's a rock solid right there. That's what Fritz can do all day long, and that's a big serve plus forehand. One of the best in the business with that combo. One of the best forehands in the world and one of the best serves in the world. Combine those two together, that's how Fritz wins his matches. I compare his style very similar to Andy Roddick. Fritz, not as good as Andy Roddick, of course, but it's similar tactics, let's say. It's all based on super high percentage tennis from the baseline, grinding, fighting, and it's hold on a second. Okay, 3-2 Fritz. Okay, got it. All right. So it's like grinding, super high percentage fighting, and then it's a monster serve and a monster forehand. It's similar. Fritz and Roddick, similar styles. Of course, I think Roddick more powerful, a little bit more quality in the serve. As good as the Fritz serve is, I think the Roddick serve was better. And forehand is probably the same. Good. Incredible forehands. Break point for Cobolli. No, game point for Cobolli, I'm sorry. 40-30. I apologize. If Djokovic somehow beats Sinner, I'm assuming he'd rather face Fritz than Zverev in the final. I would say yes. I would say yes. Although, I think Fritz will draw confidence on that set that he won against Djokovic at the Six King Slam. He played really well in that first set, and then Djokovic pulled out. Even though it's an exhibition and all that, I think everything matters in tennis. And then the match they played prior to that was Shanghai 2024. No, they played US Open too. But Shanghai 2024, Fritz played well against Djokovic. So it was 6-6. So Fritz certainly is going to have a little bit of a chance. But I think, yeah, I think for Djokovic, with Fritz would be slightly better than Zverev. For Sinner, it doesn't matter. Doesn't make much difference whether it's Fritz or Zverev. Hold on one second. Let me make one more adjustment here. Hold on. Six, 4, 5 all. Cobolli Fery. It's 15 all on the Fery serve. Let's see if Cobolli can put pressure on Fery here. A monster forehand from Fery. He's got so much power, Fery. It's incredible. He can blast the serve and the forehand. Zverev holds the love. He is going to be looking to put pressure on Fritz who doesn't appear to be 100% fit in this one. There must be some kind of injury or something. Fery holds to 15, 6-5. Big pressure moment coming up for Cobolli here. It's a beautiful down the line backhand winner from Zverev. Love 15. Why does Fritz have such a good head-to-head against Zverev? Sasha's level is better. I went into that in the intro. It's a mental thing. Started in 2024 at Wimbledon, where Zverev was up 2-0 on Fritz and lost. He was 5-2 against Fritz prior to that match. It's surely mental. I don't see anything in Zverev in Fritz's game that should be necessarily a problem for Zverev. Of course, he can lose to Fritz, but 7 consecutive times, I think he got into Zverev's head. And a lot of them were really important matches. And of course, that Wimbledon match was super important and a big opportunity for Zverev. And I think that stuck with him. But like I said in the intro, no better time for Zverev to reverse this 7-match losing streak than right here, right now. He's got a huge opportunity. And especially now that Fritz doesn't appear to be 100% fit, even more reason for Zverev to finally get a win over Fritz. But Fritz is just so tough, you know? The big wide serve, forehand, inside in winner is just so rock solid. He can do that all day long. And a big pressure moment for Cobolli here. Love 15. That's a huge point right here. And Cobolli hits a forehand into the net. Love 30. Wow. Fery 2 points away from a 2-0 lead on Cobolli. At forehand, Zverev should have made that forehand. Didn't hit it clean. That volley dropper from Fritz wasn't as short and wide as he wanted it to be. It's a big opportunity missed by Zverev there. It's a nice forehand from Cobolli, but Fery runs it down inside out forehand Cobolli. Fery pass goes long. 15-30. Very good point by Cobolli there. And a monster hold there from Zverev. He got out of it a little bit of a jam there. Zverev hit a couple of really nice backhands. On serve in the second set. Cobolli, Fery. Cobolli serving to stay in this second set, 15-30. Strong serve from Cobolli there down the tee. 30 all. That's very strong from Cobolli right there. Beautiful wide serve, gets Fery off the court and then knocks off that inside out forehand for a winner, 40-30. From love 30 to 40-30. It's big time tennis from Cobolli right here. Nick, how tall are you? I'm 6'5". Where do you land on who's better all-time grass court player, Federer and Djokovic? I did a video on that maybe a couple of years ago. I did a like goats by surface because I thought it was very interesting. So it's obvious Djokovic the goat on hard court. Great hold by Cobolli, by the way. That was clutch right there. And then a tiebreak in the second set. So hardcore Djokovic goat, clay Nadal goat by a mile. Nobody comes even close. And grass, it's like you can make some arguments there. Of course, you can say Federer. You know, he's won 8 Wimbledons. He went on that unbelievable streak in Wimbledon. Prior to Djokovic starting to do really well at Wimbledon, Federer was the absolute king of Wimbledon. So you got to respect Roger's level on grass, and you can certainly call him the GOAT. But with Djokovic, though, he's so good on grass. And he is 3-0 against Federer in the finals. Now, he has one less than Federer with 7. But he did beat him 3 times they played in the final. All wins by Djokovic. And yes, these matches were close, and there was that famous one with 2 match points for Federer. But I don't know. It's if Djokovic gets another one, then certainly you can say he's the co-GOAT. Or you can even say it now. You wouldn't be making that crazy statement if you said that Djokovic is the grass GOAT. But certainly you got to respect Federer's accomplishments on grass, and since he has the most titles, you can call him the GOAT. So it's kind of nicely distributed across the surfaces, where each one of the big 3 gets a GOAT title depending on surface. But if you want an overall GOAT, it's clear that it's Djokovic, you know. So that's my viewpoint on that. But I think it's more fair to judge him by surface, because then you respect each one's accomplishments more accurately. Fery up a mini break in the tie break. And he misses the first serve. He went body on that one. Second serve. Cobolli with a frustrating return error off a second serve into the net. Forehand return error into the net. 3-1. Zverev with a love hold there, 15 hold, and Fery overhead. Hits it well enough where Cobolli can't control the next lob, and it's 4-1 Fery. How about that? How about that, guys? Wow. That's a stunner right there, Fery. Big serve by Cobolli down the tee, 4-2. Look, this is a nightmare for Cobolli right here. I feel for him. You know, it's a must-win match. You don't want to lose to a guy ranked outside the top 100 in the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. You don't. And this is no disrespect to Fery. He's a phenomenal player. Took out like big-time players on his way here. And but just from a mental standpoint, this is brutal for Cobolli. It's just a high-pressure match. And if you lose this, that's gonna stink for a while. Cobolli's second serve, down 4-2 in the breaker. Barely makes that forehand. Gets Fery on the run. Spreading the ball side to side, and Fery misses the squash shot into the net 4-3. Very good point by Cobolli. Very solid. Fery still up a mini break though. Zverev again 30-all on the Fritz serve. He's got a second serve right here. And there's a break point for Zverev. He wins the rally over Fritz. Fritz didn't move his feet on that shot. Maybe it was a bad bounce. 30-40. A rally between Cobolli and Fery, and Cobolli goes down the line with his backhand, sprays it wide. That backhand looked very tight. Big first serve by Zverev, by Fritz. Zverev gets to return and play, and then a rally. And ball goes long, and Zverev screams. He gets the break. Fery misses the first serve here. Second serve is opportunity for Cobolli, but he's tight right now. You can feel the tension for Cobolli right here. Cobolli misses another backhand. The backhand letting him down in the most important stage. Misses one wide that looked super tight, and this one he just kind of steers long like this. And he misses it long. 6-3 Fery. This is crazy. 3 set points to go up 2 sets to love. Wow. Second serve Cobolli. Deep return by Fery. Slice backhand Fery in the middle of the court. Cobolli putting Fery on the run. That's a very tricky pass from Fery, like an angled slice cross-court short. But Cobolli hits an exceptional backhand volley drop shot, saves the first set point. 6-4 Fery. This is incredible. Anyone who put Fery in the semifinals, speak up. The drop volley from Fery. And there's the set for Fery, up 2 sets to love. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? This is crazy, guys. This is absolutely insane. It's just that Cobolli has a lot of pressure in this match, and he's not playing well. He's playing tight. This is an absolutely brutal matchup. And here's Zverev serving for the second set. Big serve from Zverev right there, rock solid. Down the tee. The Zverev match could be 3 hours longer. I don't think so. I think Zverev rolls through this one. There was 136 that first serve. It's incredibly fast. Nice forehand from Taylor there. Pulls Zverev off the court. That's what Fritz is really good at on his forehand. He can kind of hook the forehand, and he can create these cross-court trajectories and hit the ball very sharp and curl it off the court. The forehand maybe stylistically speaking, not the nicest looking for him, but extremely good and very effective. Wow, what a play by Zverev there. SNV. How about that? How about that, guys? Zverev coming up with the goods here. Average first serve speed for Zverev in this match, 132 miles an hour. He is hammering that first serve. There's another one, 133 out wide. Fritz actually blocks the return, doesn't chip it there. 40-15 Zverev. 2 set points to go up, 2 sets to love. And I'll own up to it in a second with my selections prior to the tournament starting. And there's another monster serve from Zverev, 139 down the tee. Zverev again tries to block it back, but can't control it. Return goes into the net. Zverev up 2 sets to love on Fritz. So, you know, when I made my draw selections, I picked Fritz to go in the final. And, you know, I don't do the whole redraw thing. It's like once I select, it's this is what it is. But certainly, like once the tournament starts, you have to alter your selections because it matters what happens inside the tournament. You know, I don't know, maybe one guy plays like a 5-hour match, and that's going to have an effect on the following matches. So certainly you could redraw, and reselecting makes a lot of sense. But I don't do it. I think it's kind of overkill with the predictions. I do it once, that's it. And it's a lot of work too. So I don't ever do it. But I said yesterday in my wrap-up video that I've changed my mind on the women's draw. I picked Noskova to win the whole thing, but now I'm kind of feeling Coco Gauff. And just the head-to-heads and the players that are left in the tournament, I feel like Coco has an incredible opportunity to win this thing. And with Zverev and Fritz, now that I've seen Zverev play, he's been so rock solid. And he's impressed me quite a bit in this tournament because I think sometimes after you win a Grand Slam, it can go both ways. You can use the confidence and then get on a roll and continue to play well, or it can go in the exact opposite direction and you get into a slump. You know, it's natural for this to happen because, look, this is a lifelong dream of Zverev and for many other players who finally win their Grand Slam. Maybe it's their only one. And a lot of the pressure dissipates and you're satisfied and you're happy. But I heard one interview with Zverev and I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying. He said in tennis it's important to have a short-term memory, not only when you lose, but also when you win. And that impressed me, I'll be honest, because he went to Halle and they didn't detect any like him being satisfied with Roland Garros. I didn't see him get a haircut, like I said, which I thought was interesting because I heard a rumor, maybe it wasn't true, that Zverev was growing his hair out until he won a Grand Slam tournament. So maybe this was a false rumor. But it just looked like Zverev, like nothing changed. Just was grinding out there in Halle, played singles and doubles. And I was like, okay, this guy's ready for Wimbledon. But I still wasn't sure. So, you know, I was like, okay, you know what? It makes sense on paper to select Fritz, and Fritz impressed me quite a bit in the grass court season, making 2 consecutive finals. And I wasn't sure with Zverev how he's going to perform at Wimbledon. It was still a question mark, but now that I've seen him perform like this, it's just rock solid. I was like, I got a feeling like Fritz is going to flip this thing. You know? He's going to flip this head-to-head. Like, no better scenario to flip it than right here, right now. That was my thought that I had yesterday. So, you know, Tennis Teuton, you make a good point there with the window. They can win more than 1 Grand Slam. Look, certainly, especially now in this phase where Alcaraz is not there, there's going to be opportunities. You know, you never know. You never know in the game of tennis. But I think what Zverev can do now is separate himself even further from the rest of the tour, meaning everybody that's behind him. And I think by doing that, in a way, he can get closer to the top guys. Because if he gets close to the other guys that are behind him and starts losing to a lot of them and stuff, I think that's going to have a bad effect on his goal to get closer to the top guys and challenge them. So he needs to continue to produce like super consistent results, just like they do, and continue to go super deep, semis, finals, everywhere. And whether he can beat Sinner or not, that's a story for another day. You know, that certainly is a very complicated head-to-head to explain. But yeah, Zverev has a big opportunity. You're right about that. He can separate himself and really get closer to the top. Because the separation in points was absolutely gigantic between, after Monte Carlo was like, I don't remember the numbers, but there was 12,000 points for Alcaraz and 6,000 for Zverev or something like that. And then there was like, maybe the next guy behind Zverev had like 3,000 points or something. It was like a 6,000 point differential between Alcaraz and Zverev, humongous. And he can start closing that and start separating himself from the guys behind him. So it starts right here by trying to take out Fritz, which will continue to be tough. Fritz is a tough customer. I don't know when Alcaraz is going to return. I'm guessing Canada Masters, but I've only seen one clip of Alcaraz hitting. I follow this guy on Instagram. I recommend you follow him. Juan something. Juan, I don't know. You can probably find it. And he's like a Alcaraz fan page. I don't know if he lives where Alcaraz lives, but he'll record all the training sessions from Alcaraz. And I've not seen him train yet. I've only seen him hit mini tennis. I've seen him hit with his left hand. But so that's kind of concerning. I haven't seen him play yet. Fritz from 40 love to 40 all. A big serve from Fritz right there on deuce, down the tee, add in. Loic951 says he misses Alcaraz so much, especially on grass. Yeah, we need Alcaraz. We need Alcaraz in the game. That's a monster serve from Fritz right there. 129 out wide, ace. Nice to come up with a couple of big serves at deuce. Fritz up 1 love in the third. Zverev up 2 sets to love. And Fery break point on the Cobolli serve. Can you believe this? He's got break point right away. First service game of Cobolli. Cobolli's got to get it together here. He's got to make this a super tight match so Fery feels the nerves. He's going to feel the nerves to have the semifinals on his racket. So Cobolli has to stay here. But he's not playing well. He's so tight. That forehand dumped into the net. It just looks so tight right now. Cobolli. Break for Fery. 1 love in the third. This will sting if he loses this, Cobolli. This will hurt. And this might linger. And again, this is not disrespect to Fery. He's playing a phenomenal match. But just from a tennis player's mind, I don't care what level you're at, you lose to someone that you shouldn't be losing to on a big stage, that hurts. That hurts. Sasho 888 PRM asked if I have any injuries in my career. Yeah, a lot. It was really my knee that was the biggest problem my whole tennis playing life. I made a whole video on it. I heard it when I was in juniors, and it was okay, manageable for a long time until it completely got destroyed maybe about 10 years ago. And that's where I stopped playing. And now when I play, I'm very careful with how I move. Some people can pick up on it. People actually that have knee injuries was like, Nick, I know you're being careful with your left leg. I can see it. So I move very carefully on the court now, just so that I don't hurt myself further. Other than that, there's been a lot of other things, but those were like minor things. The knee was the big thing that's been a big problem, and it's a problem in everyday life too. I'm not gonna lie. It's not good. I'm doing a lot of work to try to get better. Haven't done as much work lately as I should be, but I'm a huge fan of the knees over toes guy. I bought a lot of his equipment. I don't have it here, but I have tons of his equipment. I have the Nordic bench. I have a ton of stuff. And it's been quite helpful, I have to say. It's helped me quite a bit to strengthen the legs in a different way to how I was doing it before. And it's made a difference. But it's just like doing it. It's the thing. I've been too busy, let's put it that way. But it's no excuse. I have to do it. Fery doing a lot of running in that rally. Cobolli spreading the ball nicely, making Fery work. That was a good point by Cobolli. He's got to lock in right here and get the break back. 30-all. Zverev with a poor drop shot there. Chance for Fritz, but I don't know if that was on purpose from Zverev. If it was, then all the respect to him, but he hits like a lob with his two and a backhand lob. Let's take a look at the slow-mo. I'll tell you whether it was on purpose or not. Yeah, it looked like on purpose. Yeah, maybe. Incredible defense there from Zverev because Fritz had a great forehand deep into the backhand corner of Zverev, and Zverev holds 1-all in the third. Cobolli with another excellent rally. Very solid rally, making Fery work. And he's got a breakpoint chance to get back on serve in the third set. Cobolli can't like gift this to Fery. He's got to make it so that Fery wins this match. And then we might see nerves from Fery. But the way Cobolli was playing in that tiebreak, just gifting points, even that first service game in the set, is just not, that's just it's just making it too easy for Fery. He's got to extend the rallies, make it physical, and make Fery beat him. And he looks to be doing just that. Drop shot from Fery, a beautiful angle from Cobolli, lob, and just an incredible athleticism there from Fery. It's a good lob from Cobolli, but Fery gets airborne and puts away the overhead inside out. But another good rally from Cobolli. He's got to keep playing like this, and he's going to give himself chances to fight back in this match. Just make it physical. Make it as physical as possible. From a couple of standpoints, first and foremost, like Fery's been on the court a lot. Bergs, 5 sets. Dimitrov, 5 sets. So you can make it physical and get an advantage that way, but also nerves might become a factor for Fery. The closer we get to him actually winning this match. And another great point by Cobolli there. He curls the ball low into the feet of Fery, who can't control the volley. Another break point for Cobolli. Add out. These matches are looking pretty anticlimactic. Look, it's these are not the fan favorites, let's put it that way. Like Zverev, Fritz, I don't think a lot of people get too excited about that matchup. What a rally here. Fery, wrong foot, Cobolli, another overhead, and another exceptional overhead where he gets airborne. This guy is a fantastic athlete. He is so quick around the court. And no other shot in tennis where you can display your athleticism like a overhead when you're moving backwards. Take a look at this in slow-mo. Guy moves back and then gets airborne and just puts it away. If you want to do a drill when you want to exhaust yourself, do a overhead drill where you're backing up and hitting overheads. Do 10 of those in a row, and you're going to be feeling it big time. Break point chance for Zverev. And Fery with the game point here add in, playing some exceptional tennis. Very impressive athlete, Arthur Fery. Second serve from Fritz. It's a huge opportunity for Zverev. Right here. And Zverev misses a backhand long. Fritz, I mean. Fritz sprays a backhand long. Very uncharacteristic error. Break for Zverev. Up 2-0 and a break. This feels like a straightforward match for Zverev. Great point, Anna. You know, when you have matches like this, follow-up matches after these blockbuster matches, because FAA Djokovic may be one of the best matches all year. How can you compete with that? It's like naturally it's going to be a little bit of a fall off in drama, or maybe not. Who knows? It's not over yet. This could get interesting here with Cobolli and Fery. I got this to me is a very interesting match, Cobolli-Fery. And it's of course interesting Zverev Fritz as well. But I think as far as drama, this could be really dramatic. I think Fritz Zverev is going to be straightforward victory for Zverev. Fritz not at his best, possibly injured. And Fery, not only does he hold on to his serve, but he's got love 30 now on the Cobolli serve. Can you imagine this? It's incredible. He goes up 2 breaks on Cobolli. Man. He's playing some incredible tennis right now. This is not a bad drop shot from Cobolli there. But Fery is lightning quick. What an athlete he is. It's incredible. Yeah, it looked out. I agree with you guys. That ball looked out, but might have caught the line by like a millimeter or something. .134-mile-an-hour ace from Zverev out wide, 30 love. What a clean match for Zverev here. Incredible. Second serve, Cobolli. Big kick, well, good return by Fery. And he's so quick. Covers the court so well, but a great rally there by Cobolli. 30 all. Wait a second, that was in? That was in? I thought he overhit that, missed it. Fery, 2 break points, my apologies. 15-40, 2 break points for Fery to go up 2 breaks. That's a nice point there by Cobolli. Forehand cross-court winner off a big serve. 30-40. Serve with the forehand cross-court winner, holds. He's up 3-1. This is a huge point right here for Cobolli. And a big serve from Cobolli to save the second break point, back to deuce. Can Zverev maybe get the double break here? Low 15 on the Fritz serve. Another break point chance for Fery to go up double break. Nice slow-mo footage of Fritz there. What a heavy forehand. Big RPM on that thing. Cobolli makes the first serve, forehand inside in. It's a fantastic point for Cobolli. He puts the hand to the ear. Not actually listening to that one. I got that one on mute. Backhand error from Fritz. He's missed some backhands in crucial moments of this match. The backhand has let him down big time. On the return of serve, also, he hasn't chipped as many as he's actually blocked a few more, which is interesting because I listened to a press conference with Fritz and he was talking about how he likes to chip on grass and how that works really well for him. But today he hasn't chipped exclusively on that backhand side, has bunted a lot and has missed a lot of returns. Another breakpoint chance for Fery. And here's 30-40, breakpoint chance for Zverev to go up double break. I take that back. No, it's deuce over there. My bad. That was 40-30 Fritz. And now deuce. Big serve by Zverev, by Fritz. And there's a break chance for Zverev. Fritz shakes out his legs. He could easily be injured here too. He did take a medical timeout. And there's a break for Fery. Cobolli steers a forehand very carefully and misses it wide, directing it inside out. Very nervy tennis from Cobolli. Very far from his best. Not taking anything away from Fery though, who's playing exceptional tennis. He is so incredibly quick. Versatile player, attacking player, has big power on the serve and the forehand. He's playing well, but at the same time, Cobolli is he has not played well. Let's put it that way. Zverev with a double break on Fritz. Certainly, this is going to be enough for Fritz. Up 2-0, 4-1, 2 games away, 2 breaks. Looks like Zverev will be able to reverse the 7-match losing streak to Fritz. We got a double break on both matches, 2-0 and a double break in both matches. But somehow I feel like the Zverev-Fritz match is over. Honestly, it's over. Don't see Fritz coming back, but I don't think Cobolli-Fery is over yet. I don't think it's over yet. If Zverev plays Fery in the semifinal, that's going to be a straightforward match for Zverev. He's not going to play like Cobolli. It's going to be straight sets for Zverev in that one. And I think Zverev makes with the Wimbledon final. How insane is that? Back-to-back finals, Roland Garros, Wimbledon. Yeah. Cobolli misses another backhand into the net. 15-love. Cobolli has to dig unbelievably deep here. He has to pull a Djokovic or a Nadal and just go so deep inside and not let this slip away, not being overwhelmed by the circumstance, by the negative circumstance, and just claw out this victory. This could mean so much to him. If he just locks in and beats this guy, it's still possible. You know, even though he's down 3-love, 2 breaks. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it. It's falling apart. Return error from Cobolli. 30-love. It's 40-love. Ace for Fery. He's got some serve. It's a big serve. Another huge serve down the tee. Not much that Cobolli can do there. It's just simply too good. It's 4-love. Can you believe it? Can you believe this? Big serve from Zverev there, 15-all. Is something up with Cobolli? Is Fery on fire? I don't think Cobolli is injured or anything like that, but Fery is playing exceptionally well. Like, he's so fast, he runs everything down, plays with power, versatility. He's playing at the top of his level, and Cobolli is just underperforming at the crucial stages of this match. Committing errors, playing tight. Big power there from Fery on the forehand. 15-all. I can't stress enough that Fery was like, he was on the brink of a loss to Bergs. Down 2-1, 4-1 in the fourth. 2 breaks. And then another upper break in the fifth. 4-2 he was down. This is an incredible story we're witnessing here with Fery. It's a backhand down the line winner from Fery. 15-30. Will he get the triple break? (40-15). Zverev rock solid. Missed that one forehand at love in this game. He went for it. But then 3 rock solid points, 40-15. It's a nice rally there from Cobolli. 30 all. And Zverev, 134-mile-an-hour ace down the tee. Holds up 5-1 in the third. And there's another breakpoint chance for Fery to go up triple break. Shank from Cobolli. 30-40. Triple break should surely be enough to win, wouldn't you think? On grass. But, you know, again, it's tennis. You never know what can happen. Cobolli saves break point. Back to deuce. Cobolli with another backhand error. That's a low percentage shot right there. Going down the line for a winner like that. And not the right time to pull the trigger like that. You got to make this guy work. Extend the rallies. Another breakpoint chance for Fery. Second serve, Cobolli. Nice serve from Cobolli there. High forehand, rips it inside out. Forehand volley, drop shot. Fery runs it down. He's so quick. This guy is so unbelievably fast. Bounce overhead, and Cobolli misses the forehand pass into the net. Triple break for Fery. But that, like the way Fery ran down that forehand cross-court volley drop shot from Cobolli, was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. He has got to be one of the fastest guys on tour, Arthur Fery. He is so unbelievably quick. But, you know, at his height, and really height, that's a story for another day. Height is not necessarily related to power. It can be, certainly. It can be related to it. But not always. It doesn't mean that if you're not tall that you can't make power. It's all relative. But I will say that this style of player, to have this much power that he has, to be able to throw down these monster serves and monster forehands, it is unusual. Arthur Fery is a power player. And he's got that incredible versatility, and he's, of course, quick. This guy is a real deal. Triple break for Fery in the third set. Double break for Zverev in the third set. Both guys are up 2-0. Can Fery serve it out right here? Certainly, it makes Cobolli made his life as easy as possible. I don't think he's going to get tight here, up a triple break. You know, like I said in the beginning of that third set, I said Cobolli's got to keep this as tight as he can to maybe have Fery experience nerves a little bit to close this out in front of a home crowd, which can be something that boosts you, but it can also be something that puts a little bit more pressure on you. But up a triple break, this thing is so over. This match is over. 15 love. Yesterday was a marathon. Thank you for all you that you do. Yeah, yesterday was a long time. It was, I think it was streaming for like close to 8 hours, and then I did a wrap-up video. It was insane. And then, like I said in the beginning, at the fire, whoa, 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 what a point there. Let cord from Cobolli, but Fery is like an acrobat up there at the net. He stretches and reaches the let cord, and it's 40-love, 3 match points. Three breaks up and up 3 match points on his own serve. It couldn't have been designed better for Fery. He's going to serve this thing out and go in the semifinals of Wimbledon. Ace out wide, and Arthur Fery is in the semifinals of Wimbledon. Can you believe this? This is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And the court number 1 is clapping for Arthur Fery in the Zverev-Fritz match. Incredible. And Cobolli has got to ask himself some very serious questions. The coaching staff should spend some time with him, and lessons need to be learned from this match, because he could have done so many things different. This one is going to sting. Fairy tale, that's right, fairy tale, yep. Is he going to recover from this? This can sting and linger. I think he will, but you could make an argument that this is going to linger and the results are going to be worse now for Cobolli. But it's a difficult, that's why the team needs to do work, because Zverev takes out Fritz straight sets, breaks him 4 times, which is surprising. Fantastic match for Zverev. So let me kind of summarize both of these matches separately this time, because the dual stream is a nightmare. So let me summarize both of these separately, and then I'll preview a little bit Fery Zverev match. And of course, we're going to do a day 10 wrap up later today. There was a couple of really good women's matches too. In level, not necessarily in drama. Today was no drama, but features some exceptional tennis. So, Arthur Fery played incredible tennis. So from that standpoint, like, Cobolli's got to tell himself, look, you know, I lost to a guy who was on fire, but the next time that he's in a situation like this, and there probably won't be a next time, because this was such a unique scenario. He's playing a guy, a wild card, ranked outside the top 100 in the quarterfinals to make it into the semifinals of Wimbledon for the first time, and also back-to-back since he made the final of Roland Garros. So it was a huge opportunity there. And I don't know his mindset prior to the match, so maybe he can do a change there. But for sure, the way this third set played out and the way he played it, he went for low percentage shots, gave a lot of free points to Fery. It was important to keep this third set close, and maybe Fery would have felt the nerves a little bit, and Cobolli did the exact opposite of that and was making mistakes. Now, second set, Cobolli played better and had chances to win it, but he just got tight in that tiebreak. So I feel like he can learn a lot from this and improve his game based upon this loss. I also think that maybe people have put unrealistic expectations on Cobolli on grass. I've heard things like, he's gonna be a threat to Sinner and Alcaraz. He's gonna make back-to-back Roland Garros and Wimbledon finals, but I think there's a huge discrepancy between Cobolli on clay and on grass, like I said prior to the match starting and the beginning of the stream. Cobolli certainly is a great grass court player. You don't make the quarterfinals of Wimbledon twice consecutively by accident. That's a phenomenal result. But do I think Cobolli can win Wimbledon? No. Cobolli is one of the best clay court players in the world, though. Easily is, I don't know, top 10 at least, but maybe even top 5 on clay. You know, put him right behind Zverev, Sinner, Djokovic, and Alcaraz. I'll put him right behind those guys on clay. Maybe Casper Ruud. I mean, there's other guys too, but he's up there among the best on clay. On grass, there's a lot of guys that I would put ahead of Cobolli. And not to take anything away from him, but I heard these stories, and maybe there was too much pressure on him, too many expectations at this year's Wimbledon because his draw opened up, and then you play a guy that's ranked outside the top 100, and that in itself is a must-win match. It's a pressure match. It's going to hurt really bad when you lose it. You're playing also against the crowd. So you put all that together, there was a lot of pressure on Cobolli, and he simply failed under this pressure. But the last thing I want to do is take credit away from Fery, who took this match. He won it. He won this match. He played exceptional tennis. Huge serving, big forehands, running everything down. The guy is so fast. It's incredible. He's super crafty at the net. Phenomenal player, and it's an incredible story. You know, like I heard, he grew up 5 minutes from the All England club, so this is a phenomenal story. And he will play Zverev in the semifinal, who took out Fritz. And like I said, if you check my intro on this live stream, I'm annoyed that I was late today because I was trying to set up the dual stream, but I just had a feeling that that Zverev was going to flip the head-to-head. I didn't pick it prior to the tournament starting. I had Fritz going to the final, but like I said, this was the perfect circumstance for Zverev to turn it around. He's playing with a lot of confidence. You know, we discussed in the live stream how Zverev has the chance to separate himself a little bit from the rest of the tour. He's doing just that. He's got, I can tell you the stats. I mean, they're always insane with Zverev, but he's got a serve that's incomprehensible. It's an incomprehensible serve. It's such a huge weapon. You know, I'll tell you the average speed on the serve. It's always interesting to see. It's 132 miles an hour average, and he got 77% first serves in. And so that's absolutely insane, okay? To serve 132 on average. Fritz is 125 on average. Average second serve speed for Zverev is 115. 115 mile an hour average second serve speed. Let me tell you how many double faults he made. 2 double faults in the whole match. So this guy is an amazing player. And now he finally has the results. He's so consistent. This started in 2024, where he finished 2 in the world, I think, that year. And it's continued all the way up to now. And he goes very deep at the most important tournaments, including Wimbledon, because he will beat Arthur Fery. The problem with Cobolli was that he was tight today. I don't think Zverev is going to be tight. I think he'll take care of business. Maybe there might be a close set, but I expect a straight set victory from Zverev in this one. And he's going to make a Wimbledon final, which is unbelievable. Back-to-back Roland Garros and Wimbledon finals. I mean, you know, to all those people who asked after Roland Garros, will, you know, winning the first Grand Slam, you know, open up, unlock Zverev. I was kind of like skeptical with that because I thought there was not much to unlock because Zverev had been playing really well. He's had a great career. I think that narrative is completely false that this guy is some kind of choker or something. You know, I've dedicated like 3 videos to Zverev, you know, defending him from the choker label, which now seems weird, but check out my video after he lost to Darderi in Rome. Check out my video there. Just type in Intuitive Tennis Zverev choker label. That was his label, and it was unfair because he's had phenomenal results. So I didn't think there was anything that had to be unlocked, so to speak. I think his problem was in some matches, some tentative play, no doubt about it. Some nervy matches, sure, but nothing really out of the ordinary. Of course, everybody focuses in on that Dominic Thiem US Open final. But his issues were more like, you know, with Sinner in specific, in that head-to-head, which is absolutely brutal. And it's too early to talk about that because the semifinals have to be played first before we preview anything there. Certainly Djokovic, you can make an argument that he's going to beat Zverev, Sinner. So let's not discuss that. But, you know, having said all this, I didn't think that anything had to be unlocked. But certainly winning a Grand Slam and having all that pressure relieved could have gone both ways. For Zverev, it could have resulted in a dip in form. It could have been a satisfaction for Zverev. I talked about this previously. I don't have to go through it again. But it didn't happen. Zverev locked in right away, shortly after Roland Garros, played Halle, played singles, played doubles. And he focused right away, forgot about the win, which is what you're supposed to do. If you're a great champion, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. You celebrate for a day, and then you lock back in, and you want to win another one. And I saw this from Zverev right away, and he's playing the best tennis of his life, the most consistent tennis of his life. He's playing aggressive, and let's focus first on his semifinal against Fery that I think he will win. But if he goes to the final, I think we need to have that discussion whether this is a different Zverev that's going to have more chances to take out a Djokovic or a Sinner in a final of a Grand Slam, because that's what he's never been able to accomplish. So this tournament is going to get very interesting, guys. Very, very interesting. So I want to apologize. Normally I'm very active in the chat. But I have 2 chats going, so I didn't really look at it that much. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes just look at the chat, see if there's anything interesting, and then we'll go from there, guys. I'll stay with you guys for a little bit longer, and we'll go from there. Let's see here what you guys are saying. This is a good question. Is it a mistake to call deuce when the score is 30-all and add when it's 40-30? Yeah, that's a mistake. You don't want to call that because it's not deuce. It's 30-all, and it's not add. It's 40-30. Call it like it is. The scoring system is complicated enough. Let's keep it accurate. Oh, okay. This is interesting from Sasho 888 PRM. Fery probably takes less time between service points than Andre Agassi did. He's just go, go, go. Yeah, he's a fast player in between points. There are certain players like that. Roddick was like that. Hewitt was like that. Agassi was like that. It's just a personality trait that certain players have. Oh, that's a great question. What ranking could left-handed Carlos get to? I think left-handed Carlos Alcaraz would be more successful than right-handed Carlos Alcaraz, for sure. Just like I honestly say as a huge Rafa fan that a right-handed Rafael Nadal would be less successful than a left-handed Rafael Nadal. Because lefties are very difficult to play. Sasha asked, are there any matches on YouTube from your playing days? No, unfortunately not. That's a whole long convoluted story, but maybe, yeah. There's some junior tennis. Like I have it on my YouTube channel, some junior tennis that I put up. No, I do have some clips of me playing in juniors. I do. But I had a lot of footage in college, and unfortunately that footage is lost. But it's a whole long story. But yeah, there's some junior stuff of me on there. And there's a couple of clips of me playing like the Men's Open Nationals in the final of the Men's Open Clay Court Nationals. That's on YouTube if you type it in. I didn't put it up there, somebody else did. Just a couple of clips of that in Fort Lauderdale in the final against my buddy Carlos. But that's about it. And back to Alcaraz news. There is an update today, actually. He will undergo final medical examination this Friday and resume unrestricted training on Monday if it all goes well. That's great info, Anna. I thank you for that. That's great info right there. I'm wishing nothing but the best for Alcaraz, and we need Alcaraz back. We need Alcaraz back. These matches are done. Lame. No World Cup today either. The universe is telling me to go do some surf practice. Said Liechtenstein, I think you're onto something there. Use today for activities that you had no time for over the last 2-3 weeks because we've been all busy watching a lot of sports. So I'm going to use this opportunity too to go out and do something because it's still early. 12:42. Yesterday was insane. Yesterday's day was insane, but it was a blast. I loved doing the live stream with Djokovic. That was such a blast. Even though it lasted 5.5 hours, I had a blast yesterday with you guys. It was so fun. Will Carlos return to Cincy Open? I'm sure he's going to be back for Cincinnati. Maybe there's a question mark for Canada, but I'm sure Carlitos will be back for Cincinnati. I think so. You know, I do have a video with the Dr. Adrian on my channel where we discuss the exact injury that Carlos has. And Dr. Adrian gives some great info on the injury. And, you know, whatever Dr. Adrian said in that video was backed up by Nadal. A couple of days later, I listened to him, and Nadal said Carlos is doing the right thing because Nadal had that same type of injury twice. And the most important thing is rest and immobilizing it and letting it heal up or whatever, and then you're going to be fine. So I think, in accordance to Dr. Adrian and some of the other things I read, I think Alcaraz will return at 100%. Now, how he will play, that's a different story. I don't know. I hope that he picks up where he left off and just starts going deep in every tournament. Is Vera going to flip the head-to-head with everybody now? Sinner Alcaraz starting to be scary. I don't know. Let's discuss that if Zverev beats Fery. We're going to have a lot of discussions on that, guys. We're going to have a lot of discussions on that, guys. Let's just wait until it happens, okay? All right, let me do, just out of respect, also check the chat for the Fery stream. Let's see what's going on here. What are we streaming tomorrow, Nick? That's a great question, Random Tennis Gal. I have no idea. What's even tomorrow? Is it the women's semifinals? They're not gonna, better not be back simultaneous. There won't be, but this is not my preference, guys, doing simultaneous streams, because it's like I don't want to like watching two matches at the same time, because I want to see everything in the match. And when it's two at a time, I'm missing things, and I hate missing stuff. Hold on a second here. We're going to check in a second. That's day 11. Order of play. Muchova Goff, 8:30. Kostyuk Noskova followed by the doubles, and then another doubles. Okay, got it. So 8:30, Muchova Goff, and then followed by Kostyuk Noskova. We'll do both, guys. We'll do both separately. Not this dual stream stuff. And they're both on center court, one after the other. Absolutely, Anna, that's right. And France versus Morocco is going to be after that, Sasho. You get to watch football after the tennis. It's beautiful. Coco Muchova could be a banger, 100%. That is going to be a banger. It's going to be so interesting, that match. For sure. So, guys, I'm going to log out of here, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Catch my wrap-up of today's matches later on tonight. And we'll go from there. Subscribe to Intuitive Tennis so you don't miss any future uploads or live streams. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.